Hey guys, Omar here with Overlanding Just Cause, and this video is about my FJ Cruiser abuser, the Jeep Commander. In this video, I want to answer Mark and James' question on how I installed my Rhino Rack on top of the Jeep. Before I get into it, story time. Back in April, when I was doing all my research, I came across this YouTube video of this guy that installed a slimline rack on his Jeep Commander. What he ended up having to do was contact Front Runner and ask him, hey, this is what I'm doing, these are the parts I'm gonna need, or can you help me with the parts that I'm gonna need? And Front Runner actually did. So that's what I did. I emailed Front Runner and pretty much explained, hey, I saw this YouTube video. Now, mind you, the video was from like 4 or 5 years ago. But I said, I saw this video from 4 or 5 years ago. This is what you guys did for him. Can you do the same for me? This is what I'm going for. I'm new to all this. Please help. I got a response from Front Runner, and this is what it said. Thank you for reaching out. Unfortunately, we aren't able to do custom fitments to that extent anymore. I do apologize for the inconvenience. So what this tells me is that it either was not cost effective for the company or there's a liability issue, which in either case I get, right? So I emailed him back and said, I completely understand, not a big deal, but can you at least point me in the right direction? And again, I sent him pictures of the Jeep, like, hey, this is what, I saw, this is what I'm going for. I sent him pictures of my Jeep and what I've done to it so far, maybe kind of motivate him. So I emailed him back and said, I completely understand, but I did ask for help. I said, hey, can you at least point me in the right direction or give me some guidance, right? So this was his response. Now, maybe he responded and he was having a bad day or something, but his response was a little harsh. It was a little sad, and it was funny at the end, right? After the initial harshness and sadness, it ended up being funny. But here you go, I want to share it with you. All right, the car and this is his response to me, the car you have isn't necessarily a good platform for turning into an off-road build. It might be an idea, now this is his guidance to me, it might be an idea to consider selling the car for a better platform, such as, that's not the end of the sentence, such as a 4Runner or a Jeep Wrangler. I would throw my iPad, but I'm not. Yeah, so anyway, enough on that. After laying in bed under the covers, sobbing for a couple of days, got back on my feet, and I just started thinking, what can I do? So I got on Amazon and I looked at Rhino Rack because I was not going to order a Front Runner, right? So I got on Rhino Rack, and the rack that I chose, the size was 54 by 76. What I wanted to do was get it wide enough to pretty much be flush with the Jeep, and long enough that it goes all the way to where it almost slopes, or it starts to slope down, right before the sunroof. What I also had to do was order 2 more crossbars because I wanted the weight to be evenly spaced out across the roof. Now, you have several options for crossbars. You can either order Mopar, right, which is buku money. You can order Chinese, which is not buku money, but cheaper, right? Or you can go to a junkyard or find someone that has a Jeep Commander and say, hey, if you're not using your crossbars, I'll give you $100 type of thing, okay? I ended up ordering Chinese, and they look just like the Mopar, same quality, all that good stuff, a couple $100 cheaper. But my goal when initially ordering this rack was to get the bottom edge, because I noticed it had a little edge, bottom edge inside, tucked inside the knob on all 4 corners, right? So the crossbar sits like this. I wanted that rack to slide in here to kind of hold it in place. Well, it turned out that the size that I ordered was perfect for that idea. And once I clamped it down, it wasn't going anywhere. I mean, it was solid. It hasn't budged. Yeah, it's worked out. So come on, let me show you the rack and hopefully you'll get a better understanding of what I did. All right, so here's the rear of it. As you can see, the bottom edge, you can get it on focus. There you go. So the bottom edge, which is down here, is inside that knob, right in there. What's holding it all together are these metal strips. I've got two in the back. I've got two on the sides, one on this side, one on the other side, underneath the Pelican cases. And then I have two crisscrossed on both sides. You can see the other ones underneath the Pelican cases. Now the two up front over here, they're starting to rust. Underneath the Pelican case, one of them starting to rust. So maybe in a couple months, I'll take them off, clean them, or just replace them. I wanted it to reach the outer edge of the Jeep. Go straight across to the outer edge of the Jeep. Here's a better picture of the bottom edge, which is right here, actually sliding underneath the knob. So that's what held it in place. Once we got all four corners underneath that knob on all four sides, I did a little bit of adjustments to make sure that it was nice and straight and squared up. And then that's when I clamped everything down. There's the other side. So here's a better view. Here are the four crossbars, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 at the end. So pretty much what I ended up doing was putting one at the very ends, and then the two I aligned so that I can pretty much use the crossbars that are on the rack itself. There's 3 crossbars that go all the way across. So that one, this one is skipped, and then this one is for this crossbar. And if you notice, I've got the clamps right there. And again, the knob of this crossbar is inside this ledge here. Same thing with this one, inside the ledge. Same thing with the front. So I hope this video helped you guys, and for whoever else watches that wants to do something different. It's hard to find aftermarket platforms for other types of vehicles that are not 4Runners and Wranglers and Tacomas and things like that, and I get it. So you know, you just have to kind of deal with what we have, and I did in this case, and it worked out. So stay tuned for more videos, guys, and till next time.